Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Just a quick middle of the day update. Not much happened since the last update, so just want to focus on the short term as I'm getting ready for our member live stream in around about 50 minutes. Today in the member live stream we talk about different Bitcoin indicators. So if you're interested, check out the membership. You can always re-watch it later as well. Yeah, all the live stream tutorials and recordings are available for members. Okay, so looking at this structure still, I want to address a couple of questions in this video. One question was, can this B wave also overshoot? The other question is, when can I confirm that this fourth wave is over? We will address these in this video. First of all, what's the structure? Explained it already in the previous video, very consistent still, chart hasn't changed. So the idea is that we are now at least in a wave 4 correction. Typically wave 4 corrections take a bit of time. That's one scenario. In the other scenario, we are in a wave B that can lead to a much deeper pullback, in possibly even into the 20K region. However, I need to see a break below 35K to suggest this. Okay, until then, the yellow box remains the main support area with different Fibonacci support levels. First of all, the main ones are 41,814 and 37,900 and then 35,000. These are the key support levels. Within this support area, we've got the potential for an unfolding A, B, C. 41,840 suggest this. Okay, until then, the yellow box remains the main support area with different Fibonacci support levels. First of all, the main ones are 41,814 and 37,900 and then 35,000. These are the key support levels. Within this support area, we've got the potential for an unfolding A, B, C structure. And as long as support is holding, 35K is really the main level. I assume this is the wave count that's playing out. And then a wave 5 should send us higher to 50K plus next, more like 55 to 60K actually. But that can take a while before we get there. I think the structure at least would suggest that we spend quite a bit of time now below 50K, maybe above support, maybe sort of in this range. So maybe even a grid bot might be an option to trade the range. Now looking at this structure, the A wave could already be complete. I see only 3 waves down. I see only 3 waves down. A waves can have 3 waves, but there's nothing that at the moment would suggest with a high, let's say with high confidence, that this B wave has already started. So I'm very open to the idea that we might get one more low. That's actually my expectation right now. Would change this expectation above 44K, because above 44,000, which is the last swing high, it suggests the B wave is unfolding, and then I would still watch for a C wave. At the moment, B wave resistance, standard resistance, is between 44,220 and 47,300. This is only standard resistance. B waves don't really have targets. B waves are the most difficult waves to forecast and trade. So I cannot rule out, and now we get to the first question. No, I cannot rule out that the B wave will overshoot. B waves like to overshoot. Sometimes what happens, obviously the 50K level was one of the main Fibonacci levels on this chart and still is. So it was not quite reached in the previous spike. So sometimes these B waves then get them. Okay, 900 and then 35,000. Yellow box remains the main support area with different Fibonacci support levels. First of all, the main ones are 41,814 and 37,900 and then 35,000. These are the key support levels. Within this support area, we've got the potential for an unfolding A, B, C structure. And as long as support is holding, 35K is really the main level. I assume this is the wave count that's playing out. And then a wave 5 should send us higher to 50K plus next, more like 55 to 60K actually. But that can take a while before we get there. I think the structure at least would suggest that we spend quite a bit of time now below 50K, maybe above support, maybe sort of in this range. So maybe even a grid bot might be an option to trade the range. Now looking at this structure, the A wave could already be complete. I see only 3 waves down. I see only 3 waves down. A waves can have 3 waves, but there's nothing that at the moment would suggest with a high, let's say with high confidence, that this B wave has already started. So I'm very open to the idea that we might get one more low. That's actually my expectation right now. Would change this expectation above 44K, because above 44,000, which is the last swing high, it suggests the B wave is unfolding, and then I would still watch for a C wave. At the moment, B wave resistance, standard resistance, is between 44,220 and 47,300. This is only standard resistance. B waves don't really have targets. B waves are the most difficult waves to forecast and trade. So I cannot rule out, and now we get to the first question. No, I cannot rule out that the B wave will overshoot. B waves like to overshoot. Sometimes what happens, obviously the 50K level was one of the main Fibonacci levels on this chart and still is. So it was not quite reached in the previous spike. So sometimes these B waves then get them, okay? Sometimes the B wave might get to 50K, but that's not predictable. It's just the potential I have to highlight. Yeah, so the B wave can overshoot, but should then still lead to a C wave down as long as it's only a 3-wave rally, like we had it here, yeah, before the C wave down happened in this yellow wave 4. So that's the first question. But then also looking at the microstructure, you see this is just continuation, could be a triangle that's forming here, which ready for the weekly candle close could actually lead to a breakout. And I think a break to the downside would suggest that indeed we're getting that 5th wave down that I'd like to see. Again, we don't need it, 44K is the pivot above which I would look for the B wave. Below this level, it's wave 5 territory, and the wave 5 could send the price to 40,570 to 39K with 40,295 as one of the main levels to watch there. And yeah, I mean, when can I, and that's the second question, when can I confirm that all of wave 4 is already over? So that would be not very probable at this stage, okay? Because it's a very shallow pullback so far, and also not very long in duration, and the wave 4 is typically, it takes some time. So from here, obviously, I mean, we've reached the support area, but I have to assume that trend continuation is happening more directly once I see, it's the old routine, right? 5 waves up and a 3-wave pullback, and it's holding a higher low. That is when I would assume, okay, the low is already in, whatever it will be, and we're already moving higher. So it's always 5 up, 3 down, and then especially the break above this high would confirm it. But yeah, this is currently an area where probably we should get a little bit more clarity in the coming sessions if we get one more low, which is currently what I assume. It just hasn't shown me enough to suggest wave B is already unfolding. And if it is, the resistance levels are well defined. And then, yeah, we'll see how the move up, happens and unfolds. And then we can also make a call about where it might top and when the C wave is starting. And then we can calculate the target for wave C as well, but only once the B wave has topped. So it's just a quick update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, and please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.
Premiere live stream. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, guys, I was going to go live today, but I would have wound up going for too long.
I
don't feel good. I want to rest up today, so I can come back tomorrow and the rest of the week full speed ahead. But I didn't want to leave you guys with no content, so here's the Sunday sauce. And with all that being said, that's all the time I got for today's live stream. Well, fake out, phony live stream. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. I love each and every single one of you guys. Go get that free Frankie Candles Essential.
Here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on a roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Frankie Candle's Sunday Sauce Premium pre-recorded live stream. I don't know what this is, guys. As you know, we're here on another Sunday for that Sunday Sauce. And if you guys watched the live stream on Friday, you will know I actually got a little bit sick. So I couldn't go live, but I did want to give you guys this little pre-recorded Sunday Sauce because I want to go over some price action on Bitcoin as we have gotten that rejection from our macro golden pocket as expected. Are we likely to see more pain coming in here? Where are we looking for bounces in the medium term? And not only that, but also the short term. So in today's premium, I keep saying premium, guys. What is going on? In today's premiere, here we go. Sunday Sauce premiere. I want to talk about the medium-term time frames. Where could we be looking for a bounce if we get some more downside? If you guys watch the Friday night live stream, you will be familiar with some of these levels, but I want to show you some specific things that I'm looking at in order to anticipate that bounce to the upside. And then locally here, I want to talk about something that I'm looking at using the new Frankie Candles Essentials indicator for a potential local bounce to come in. So without further ado, shout out to the chat. I see you guys in there. Not really, but I imagine you guys are in there. Hopefully people are watching this video. But thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, we'll get you guys a spin on the Wheel of Pain and Pleasure, and we will add those spins to Monday's live stream where on our next giveaway, we will be giving away $500 in Cardano. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and try to figure out what this thing Bitcoin is going to do next. Let's get it. So guys, here we are. And like I said, there are a couple things I want to take a look at here, and I apologize if I sound nasally or raspy. Like I said, I am not feeling the greatest, but some things I want to look at today are kind of the medium term, right? Let's come up to the 4 hour. I want to talk about, after getting this rejection from our macro golden pocket, are we due for more pain? Now, by more pain, I do mean more longer term pain. Is this likely to turn into a bigger downtrend where we see a bigger move to the downside, and then that eventually just turns into a continuous downtrend into some of these more key levels of resistance? And as you guys know, one of those longer term support levels that I would be watching is about $34,419, where we have the point of control of our macro volume profile. Now, as you guys know, we did expect a rejection from this big macro golden pocket. There were many reasons to look for this dump. Number one, we were coming up to serious resistance in the market as we were getting the sentiment being more bullish than ever. This is always a huge warning sign for a potential pullback to come in. Now, this doesn't make me super bearish on the ETF news or anything like that, but something you have to understand about the ETFs are they are typically more bullish in the long term. Now, that doesn't mean we can't see more short-term upside for Bitcoin, but this is just part of the reason we were expecting kind of that quicker dump at that golden pocket, value area high. And again, like I said, many reasons to look for this other than it being a golden pocket and a value area high. As you guys know, on my live stream for the past maybe 2 weeks, maybe even more, we've been anticipating the possible print of this Bailey Darish divergence. This daily bearish divergence here, guys. Like I said, I am not feeling great. Brain must have a little bit of a cold too. But you guys know we were looking for some potential higher highs into this key level, which is the golden pocket value area high, the macro golden pocket when pulled from the all-time high at $69,000 all the way to the bear market bottom. With our higher highs on price action, lower highs on our momentum waves on the daily time frame. And kind of the thing that is a little bit concerning here is the money flow coming out on the daily as well, because as you guys know, when you do have that money flow coming out with the daily bearish divergences or any bearish divergence at that, we could expect a little bit more of a pull to the downside. So because of this, we have to at least anticipate or at least keep in mind that we could potentially get a bigger move down. So that's kind of what triggered me to want to go over these levels and what I would expect if we continued to the downside, because a lot of times this could be marking somewhat of a significant local top. Now, we talked on Friday's live stream kind of what that line in the sand for me to flip completely bearish would be, and I could take a look at that as well. Actually look at that right now just because it's in the context of this time frame. And guys, if we do see this wind up being a very, very, or a significant pull to the downside, something you have to understand is I would not really be necessarily losing any significant bearish sentiment. Let's go ahead and pull this golden pocket here from the low, swing low to the swing high. You can see we do have some pretty nice confluence here with our golden pocket macro point of control between about 34,419 and about 33,365. So this is going to be a significant level of support to be watching if we do get that bigger move to the downside. And believe it or not, guys, on a higher time frame, this would still allow us to put in a higher low and continue up to higher prices. So even if, in my opinion, even if we do get a bigger pullback to this POC, which I'm not necessarily calling for, but if we do wind up seeing that daily bear div being a significant top, this is definitely not out of the cards if we do get that bigger move. So if we do pull back here, guys, we would simply just be putting a higher low in on the higher time frames, which would continue leaving the door open to more upside for Bitcoin. So I don't want anyone thinking I'm getting bearish on Bitcoin or anything, but in the context of this kind of medium-term price action, we could potentially expect more moves to the downside based off of what we just talked about. Now, moving on here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these levels. Even, guys, even if we wound up coming down to test this 786, this is more the area where I would kind of be feeling like, oh my God, mommy, I'm scared. Please help. So if we wound up losing these levels, this is where I would start to get a little bit more concerned for Bitcoin. But luckily, we're actually pretty far away from this level, right? We're actually about 33% away from this level. Not that we can't dump 33%, but we are still pretty far from that. So, next, kind of really key level that you don't want to break is going to be that golden pocket POC right here in the 34.4s. Now, with that being said, guys, coming up to the higher daily or the higher daily time frames, you can see 2-day bearish divergence also confirmed here. So that's just kind of adding insult to injury. Money flow starting to come out here. 4-day red dot just started printing. 5-day red dot also printing, and your 6-day red dot has been confirmed for quite some time. So we do have to be careful of some more potential downside here, guys, in my opinion. And if we did wind up continuing down, what the next level of key support that I would be looking at, more local than this point of control, would simply be down here at these 2 naked daily points of control. And this level is actually very saucy in my opinion. And if we do continue down, I would be potentially interested in some long trades at this level, being that we do have those 2 naked daily points of control, as well as another very specific reason. Right now, if we pull up the liquidation heat maps, I'm going to pull up the longer term liquidation heat map, and you can see here, guys, below these wicks at about 42,000. At about 40,200, right below, this wick here, this wick here, this wick here. You guys can see we actually do have a little hot spot of liquidity. Now, this is not really like the most intense kind of cluster of liquidation sitting down here, but we do have a little bit of a highlighted bar here, as you can see, sitting at about 39.6. Again, just below these wicks. So if we come back over to the trading view chart, you can see, coincidentally, our naked point of control is coming in at exactly $39,600, right? And those wicks that we were just looking at are right here. So, as we think about kind of where the liquidity is sitting, not only understanding that the heat map is letting us know that that liquidity is sitting right down here, just logically, it would make a lot of sense that if people were longing these lows, right? People who were longing right here, let me just adjust this a tiny bit. People who were longing down here, people were longing this wick, even people who were longing up here likely have their stop losses set below these swing lows, right? Which will essentially put their stop losses, and not only that, but their liquidation levels just below these wicks, right around that $39,600 level, visualized here on the heat map. So if we do get a move down to these levels, guys, what we could anticipate is a potential drop down, right? And then once we start liquidating these people, we could get a quick liquidation wick, pushing price down even further, but we may wind up catching support right on top of these 2 naked points of control. And if we do see some kind of a bullish confirmation, such as a swing failure pattern, Mrs. Candles in the house. Come on, show a hand here. I think this is our first YouTube premiere. Mrs. Candles' hand. She's looking at me like I have 13 heads. Ooh, smells like coffee. Thank you, Mrs. Candles. Look at that. The best candle partner you could ever ask for. Bringing some coffee. She just gave me the thumbs up. Shout out to Mrs. Candles. I see those Mrs. Candles hands in the chat. But guys, if we do wind up coming down to these levels, understanding the liquidity is sitting down here, and we do get some, bullish confirmations to look for longs, this may be a significant level to watch. Now, we could also obviously be looking for swing failure patterns down here, because with the nature of these people getting stopped out of their positions, we will see quick sell pressure added to the market. And if that wick is able to get above some of these levels, I'm not going to give the exact levels right here, but if we get above those swing failure levels, it's pretty simple. If you know what you're looking for those swing failures, it's pretty simple. And if you don't know, you could check out our swing failure tutorial, and you'll know exactly what to be looking at. But I don't have time to do it here on the premium. I keep saying premium, guys, on this premiere, but we could look for potential swing failures patterns down here as well, and if we were to get that, it could make a significant place to look for a long. And even if that longer-term downtrend is going to continue, it doesn't mean that we can't get a significant bounce to come in here to put in a lower high and then continue further to lower prices, right? Continuing that downtrend. Now, I'm not calling for this exactly, but this is just one of the options of, one of the situations that could kind of take place here. So, and not only that, but also the logic behind why I'd be looking for trades down there. So in the medium term, guys, like very big level between 39.6 and 38.775. And then if things really just random, I don't think this will happen by tomorrow, but if things just started nuking here, obviously going to be a key level down here, POC golden pocket, and then down here towards that value area low 786 confluence. Now, let's talk a little bit more about some price action that's more likely to happen like either this week, the rest of this weekend, or going into next week, and that is going to be on the lower time frames. And I kind of want to talk to you guys about what I'm looking at here. And this may actually wind up presenting itself sooner than later. And I am using the Frankie Candles Essential Lux Algo Indicator to actually look at this, guys. And simply, if you do not know what this is, you could simply come into TradingView and search Frankie Candles, and you will see right down here, Frankie Candles Essentials by Lux Algo. Make sure the blue name is saying Lux Algo. And then just go ahead and click this. It's 100% free for right now. We're probably going to wind up adding this to maybe the dining room or something, which is still technically free. But right now, there's no strings attached. Just search it in TradingView, click it, favorite it, and you can get full lifetime access to it. And basically, all it is a fixed range volume profile with a bunch of really cool bells and whistles that can help you in your analysis, especially if you are new to how we trade on this channel. This will kind of eliminate a lot of the guesswork of where to pull your fibs from, etc. But here we go, right? Fixed range volume profile here on this little bit of a kind of triangle that we have forming, somewhat of a bear pennant, if you will. But we have this kind of nice little kind of range forming down here, and you have your value area high up here at $43,000 and your value area low down here at $42,570. And you can see the Frankie Candles Essential Indicator pulling that auto fib from this low all the way to this high. Really, and guys, with these automatic kind of settings, a lot of times you can it's going to be pulling based off information, right? So if you did, you may once in a while have to pull a separate custom, not custom, but a manual fib just to kind of see where things are. But you can see down here, the auto fib brings you this golden pocket sitting at about $42,107. And as you guys know, typically what we look for on these volume profiles is a potential deviation below the low before looking for some long confirmations, before looking for a long trade to take it back up to the high. Now, this golden pocket is pretty far away from that value area low, so I don't know if we're going to be able to, come down. It may invalidate the trade if we come all the way down here and we don't start getting a pretty quick reaction. However, if we wind up losing this value area low and we start getting a bigger move to the downside and we go for that golden pocket retest, basically what I would want to be looking for, guys, is, if we come on back to a lower time frame heat map, let's pull that up really quickly here. So we're looking at the 12-hour heat map here. And you can see we do have two significant chunks of liquidity down here. You have one here between about 42, I would call it about 42,700 all the way down to about 42.5. But then the real one that I would be looking at is down here closer to about 42,350 all the way down to about 42,125, or basically $42,000 even. And you can see that golden pocket is coming in right near all those liquidation levels. So we did wind up breaking this range, coming down, starting to liquidate a lot of people who were longing here, giving us a quick move to the downside. We will potentially come down here to what I like to call the backstop support, which is the golden pocket and even the 786, where if we did get that move down, we could potentially start looking for longs on these Fibonacci retracement levels. And then as you look for those longs, you could potentially target. Now, this is not a trade setup. I'm simply just using this tool to kind of show you guys what I would be looking for. Now, this is not like, oh my God, when we come down here, enter a long. Frankie Candles put the tool, the risk to reward tool on. This is not a setup. Please do not take this trade just blindly. But if we did wind up coming down here, it would be a simple golden pocket retest trade, but also understanding that we have those liquidation levels. And once we hit those liquidation levels, we are likely to at least see some kind of a reaction to the upside. And then the nice thing about having your volume profile up here is you now have a little bit of a roadmap of where you should be taking this trade, right? Or where you should be riding it to, right? So if you get that move up and you get a bounce all the way up to that value area low, nice 1% move, depending on the leverage you're using, could be a nice little bag there. So that might be somewhere where you would probably want to be taking some profit. And then you also have the context or the understanding that, let's say we come down, let's say you get some bullish divergences down here, you come to the value area low, that could be a TP1, and then once you flip that value area low to support, you then know, hey, if I hold this level, it's going to be more likely to come to the POC and the value area high, which could be your next targets. Now, obviously, guys, like I said, it's going to be very, very dependent on if you got some entry confirmations at that golden pocket, and we do go over that a little bit more in detail in the premium Discord, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys, a lot of people are asking me how you would use this, or how I personally use this Frankie Candles Essentials indicator, and this is basically how I use it, right? Because again, we trade the volume profiles, and more importantly, what we like to do is trade the deviations. And as you guys know, if you come on into the settings here, you can set your external oscillator as your divergence indications, and I have it set to market cipher because, as you guys know, that's where we look for the divergences. So if we did wind up, just to show you guys kind of how this works, if we did wind up deviating from this value area and we came all the way down here and we put some bullish divergences in, that is where you start to see those sauce cans pop up. Not that you should long or short sauce cans. These are signals, and you don't just trade signals, right? These are confirmation signals letting you know this may be a significant low within the context of the time frame that you're looking at. So it is not take the trade when the sauce can pops up. It's look for the confirmations, plan on taking the trade, and then when that sauce can pops up, you're like, oh, hey, this might have been a good bottom. That sauce can just giving you that extra little confirmation. So, guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time I got for today's premiere, not premium, premiere live stream. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Like I said, guys, I was going to go live today, but I would have wound up going for too long, and I don't feel good. I want to rest up today so I can come back tomorrow and the rest of the week full speed ahead. But I didn't want to leave you guys with no content, so here's the Sunday sauce. And with all that being said, that's all the time I got for today's live stream. Well, fake out phony live stream. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. I love each and every single one of you guys. Go get that free Frankie Candles Essentials indicator. Like I said, just search Frankie Candles in TradingView, and it is 100% free, no strings attached, at least for right now. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, same place, same time. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.